Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of our Instagram Live session. My name, like I always say, has not changed. My name remains Azu Arinze, and my guest this night is Chief Bob Manuel Udokwu, the star actor, producer, director, senior assistant on entertainment to ex-Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State. My first question is, how and when did your romance with Nollywood begin?
There was no Nollywood. There was no Nollywood. I was part of those who started what is known today as Nollywood. People often ask me, when did you join Nollywood? When did you join Nollywood? And my answer has always been, there was no Nollywood. Rather, Nollywood joined me. I was already ahead before Nollywood joined me. And it's, the landmark year that is universally accepted to be the year that Nollywood effectively took off was 1992, when they released that today birthed a multi-billion-dollar industry called Nollywood. Now, before then, I had been involved in radio, stage, television productions. Most popular, which was Checkmate. It was actually while on the set of Checkmate, doing Checkmate, which aired from 1991 to 1995. That was 4 years that I was invited, along with my good friend who played my elder brother in Checkmate, the late Francis Ago, by Kenneth Nebue, the owner of the movie Living in Bondage. We had a meeting in his office in Surulere, and he offered us roles, which we eventually played. Friends loved their own. So I wouldn't put it exactly the way most people would put it, like they joined Nollywood. No, Nollywood joined me.
I like that. I like that. Nollywood joined me. Okay. Now, what fond memories of those early days of Nollywood, do you still remember?
I studied theater arts for my first degree. In fact, not just first degree, I first did a certificate program, professional certificate program at the University of Port Harcourt, where I was trained and really nurtured professionally by the late legendary theater director and playwright, Professor Larotimi, who wrote The Gods Are Not to Blame. He was my teacher. I made a distinction in the certificate program specializing in acting, and won an award as first runner-up student actor of the year, and then moved on to get a degree in the same department in theater arts, where I made a 2-1 second-class upper division. Not long after that, we did Living in Bondage and Nollywood started. Some of the fond memories that I can remember was that for a professionally trained actor, just finished youth service and got involved in those early productions, I was really excited practicing that which I learned in school, and also deepening my craft, my artistry, my craftsmanship as an actor. And it was always exciting when people will recognize you in different places. It was exciting, but not strange, because at the University of Port Harcourt, during the time I was there as a student, as an undergraduate, I was known from the vice chancellor to the security men at the gates. So celebrity status for me began even before I got into the University of Port Harcourt. So, but at this one, it was on a larger scale, where you move around Lagos back then, and everywhere you go, people run out to see you. They still do till today. You know, a very, very large scale, very large scale. This is worldwide now, because I travel to different parts of the world, and you get people recognize you. You know, I understand that we have a very serious fan base in the Caribbean. You know, I remember when I traveled to Haiti with the former governor of Anambra State, Mr. Peter Obi, in 2010 and 2011. I was pleasantly surprised that I had a huge fan base in far-flung place like Haiti. Now, some of my Jamaican friends to tell me that Nollywood and a whole lot of us, including my very self, have huge fan base in Jamaica. You know, so back in those days, we were doing this thing for the love of the work. For me, practicing that which I learned in school, and really not giving much thought to stardom and celebrity and making a whole lot of money. I was trying to deepen that creative ability that I have in me, you know. And of course, you get people doing things for you, you know. Some of the fond memories. You get people doing things for you, you know. It still happens to today on a bigger basis. I mean, I've had pilots change seats for me from economy.
Earlier on, you were saying something about celebrity status and stardom and co. You know, as a veteran, or you know, as an actor who has been around for a very long time, what is the best way to cope with stardom?
The best way is just to be yourself. You know,
Okay.
is to be yourself, be disciplined. Just know that those people who warm up to you are your fans. They like you or probably love you. And if you remain disciplined and focused, you'll be able to handle stardom very well. Look, like you said, I've been around for a long time. In public places, I try to mix with people. For instance, I try to sit around with people. Again, that way, that's my nature. You know, I probably have the means of going into exclusive places at the airport and all that. But you see, the fans make us who we are. The fans make us who we are, as far as I'm concerned. These are people as I consider as satisfied customers who want more of you as a product. So I find out that when I'm in transit, when I'm at the airport, I get a lot of recognition from the people. Therefore, I always try to meet people or sit around where people can have easy access to me. You take photographs, but then there are limits to things that you would like the public to do, because some will probably want to abuse that privilege, you know. It's just being yourself and being disciplined, you know, and you don't play to the gallery, you know. In some instances, some will pretend that they don't know you, you know. Some will pretend that they don't know you just to see your reaction. You meet all kinds of people. And so if you're disciplined and you maintain a high standard, for myself, some people also quote and unquote get scared coming to me, close to me in public, because I also have a way of making you keep away without saying a word. That's the benefit of being an actor, well-trained actor for that. My facial expression can make you stay away from me or make you want to come close. And of course, it's not every time you're in the mood to have people hovering over you or fussing over you, but then you have to accommodate, even when you are having your own issues. For instance, Celebrities go to the same markets like everybody else in Nigeria. Celebrities go to the same filling stations. Celebrities feel the pinch of the bad economy. Celebrities drive through very bad roads. Celebrities are scared of bandits or terrorists. So everything that every Nigerian feels, we feel it 2 times or even more. There are also a lot of expectation from the public, from you. You know, a lot of people ask you for financial help. A lot of people want you to do one thing or the other for them. A lot of people expect you to behave in a different way from the rest of the people. So the burden.
How do you see Nollywood of today?
Nollywood today is facing existential challenge. Existential challenge because it's just like what I said a few minutes earlier. And its practitioners are facing the challenges the country is facing. You know, a serious downturn in the economy. Nollywood. Don't forget that Nollywood was built and sustained by private entrepreneurs. You know, and these same entrepreneurs are still the ones funding Nollywood to a very, very large extent. It's a very private sector driven industry. And so Nollywood of today is facing existential challenge because, I mean, what infrastructures do we have formally? The infrastructures we have are the ones that are put in place by people, by practitioners in the industry. There is poor remuneration. There are hardly any insurance coverage for the practitioners of the industry, in the industry. Things are not properly structured, even though over the years we've been working hard to see how we can professionalize a lot of things in Nollywood. But you see, like we say in the business, the show must go on. But at some point you have to ask yourself, does the show go on for just going on sake? Does it not have to be going on for something's sake? You know, the challenges of yesteryears may not be as intense and as the challenges of today. I'll give you an example of what I'm trying to say. When we did Living in Bondage, for instance, and some of those early movies that we did, I was fresh out of the university, I was single, and I was basically taking care of myself and maybe my parents. Today, years down the line, I have children who are in higher institutions. I have a whole lot of responsibilities that I have to take care of. And where does this money come when there's a serious downturn in the fortunes of Nollywood? Therefore, the Nollywood of today is facing existential threats. How many A-list actors and actresses do you still see in movies today? Some of us have reverted to television series. By the way, that's where we came from. I mean, it was Checkmate that brought me into limelight, and then I was spotted from there by Kenneth Nebue, and then we did Living in Bondage. A whole lot of us are going back to television series, but then how much are these television series paid? You know, and of course, a lot of movies that are being shot today, some are shot on credit. And you don't expect somebody who has been in that industry as long as I have been to just act for acting's sake. No, it has to be for something's sake. You have to be able to put food on your table. Some might say, okay, Bob, you got into government appointment and all that. It's also a way to augment your earnings. Yes, but is politics and whatever comes from that my first love in terms of profession? Some will even argue, is politics a profession? Because you have all kinds of people there. You have doctors, you have lawyers, you have artisans, you have. It doesn't matter what your background is. You can get into that, but do you really derive that satisfaction that your primary profession gives you? If a man is an architect and he's very good at it, and he happens to be in government, he still probably finds time to do good work of architecture. or sculpture or practice medicine or engineering and all that. So there's also a challenge of remaining true to your own profession and being able to give the best you can for it to grow. Today, I see a lot of productions where you have a lot of half-baked performances. You don't blame them so much, but again, I keep saying that doctors, medical practitioners will not leave their work because today patent medicine dealers prescribe drugs and even give injections. You know, that's why when you go to a professional as a doctor, you go to a professional doctor, the treatment you get, even if it's for ordinary checkup, regular checkup, the approach, everything is different. You will have that ease of mind that I am consulting a professional, that I'm going to a patent medicine dealer who probably just learned his trade along the line and be able and maybe prescribe something that will worsen your situation or even give you disease or ailment when you don't have any. And so it becomes, you see the result when you find that there's a particular production coming and you see names of A-list actors like us. People will want to watch because they know what they are getting is professional performance. I make bold to say that this is real, this is true. And when we get on set, even the set gets on fire. The equipment will love those who are performing because we are seasoned and we are trained and we give that which those who are not trained cannot give. Those who don't have our experience and training and practice over the years cannot give. You know? So going back in a nutshell to your question, Nollywood is facing existential threats, not in terms of technical quality of the productions we do today,